Ahoy and welcome to this Narrowboat adventure. Today I'm here with Abbey the boat builder and we're going to talk a bit about her blog and her life building boats. So, hi Abbey.
Hello.
So should we start with maybe how you got into boating first of all? Or boat building should I say?
Yeah, so I got into it, I sort of was doing a dead-end retail job down in Devon and always wanted a trade and never really found one that suited, that didn't involve loads of stuff that I was rubbish at. And then found an apprenticeship up in Essex, so yeah, sold my little caravan, moved up to Essex and did the apprenticeship, and yeah, it turned out I was actually quite good at it all, so it all sort of spiralled out of control from there. Got the boat building bug. Yeah.
So when you finished your apprenticeship, how did you find your first job?
So I finished the apprenticeship and there wasn't any work in Essex really, and there wasn't a lot of money there either, and the wage was rubbish. So I went to Beale Park Boat Festival and got myself a little one-man tent and went down there, spoke to absolutely everybody that I could find who knew anything about wooden boats and said, I want a job. Could someone please give me a job? I have a piece of paper that says I'm not too bad at boat building. And I found someone gave me my boss's number and I had a few pints of cider and plucked up the courage to phone him, and yeah, he said yes and said come down for 2 weeks, do a trial thing and we'll see what happens, and I managed to pull it off. So with a lot of blagging and burning mistakes while he wasn't looking, and yeah, but it all worked out in the end. So.
Nice. So did you already live in a boat at that time?
No, I lived in a flat up in Essex and a house, and I was going to do the same down in Surrey, but I looked at the price of a room in a basement in Surrey and was like, no, not going to happen, can't afford that. So just so that I could take the job, I bought a 27-foot sailing boat that was, less than adequate, but just kind of squatted on that for a year just so that I could get down here, and that was when the boat living started. Yeah.
So have you ever actually lived on a boat in the water?
Yeah, my sailing boat was in the water for a year and a half, and then I bought this one and was going to keep it in the water, but there was a lot of work needs to be done, and I was doing it on the water, but people were complaining about noise and power tools and things, so yeah, I found this little yard and parked her up here, and I've been there ever since. I do miss the water though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when it's done I guess you'll move back.
Yeah, that's the plan.
How exciting.
Yeah.
So in boat building, you've now been working at the same place since then?
Yeah.
So what has been your sort of greatest boat building achievement?
Well, I've just finished restoring a 45-foot Dunkirk little ship, clinker plank one, and I've completely rebottomed it, so I've redone all the planking from the keel up, and yeah, that's definitely the biggest achievement. Not many people can say they've done that, even at like 40, let alone at 25. So
What
I'm pretty
is
chuffed.
What is clinker planking?
So you get all the carvel wooden boats, which are all just like butted together, and they're quite easy, quite simple. And then clinker planking is all overlapped. So all the planks are overlapped, and then the angle in the overlap is what creates the shape of the hull. And that runs fore and aft, and then they notch into each other, which is called a gerald at the front, and that creates like a nice flush finish up at the stem and the transom. So it's a lot to figure out. It's more interesting, definitely.
I bet you need a lot
hard
of maths.
work. No maths.
How is it done then? If you're not with maths.
You look at it and you feel it and you peer at it, and you just, I don't know, I do everything either by eye or by touch, and then I do measure stuff, but I measure stuff badly. Like, when I say my maths is bad, I mean it's bad. Like, everyone else at the yard works in Imperial, so we all work in Imperial really, and I just can't get my head around the whole inches thing, so I'll measure out loud sometimes and be like, right, so it's an inch, a half an inch, an eighth and half an eighth. Awesome. Whereas that would be like an inch and 12/16 or something if you said it properly, but I always do everything a bit arse about face when it comes to numbers. Yeah, that's why I don't measure things. If you just do it with a stick and say, hold a stick up and go like, it's about 1.5 of this stick. You know what I mean? There's no numbers to forget. The stick doesn't change length. It's much easier.
Nice, I like it. I guess it's so much of that probably is just having the experience of having built other boats.
Yeah, and you learn to look at stuff as well, and you can look at things and know how long they are. Like, I don't need to measure it. It's, you can look at it and be like, right, about 9 foot, and then you go off and you find your piece of wood, and I don't get a tape measure out. Yeah, otherwise I'll just read the wrong number and cut too short, so which has happened quite a lot.
Are you the only lady working in your boatyard?
Yeah, I'm the only girl, always the only girl.
So I assumed that it would probably be sort of fairly male dominated. How have you found that?
I was worried about it when I first started. Like, I didn't think anyone would ever take me seriously, but it's never been an issue. Like, as long as you pull your weight. Like, the only time that anyone's ever been annoyed with me is if, like, I've not been able to do something because I wasn't quite strong enough and I needed a second pair of hands. But to be honest, everyone reaches that stage at some point. There's always something that's too heavy. So, I've never found sexism to actually exist all that much. If anything, it's a blessing rather than a curse, I think.
Yeah.
You get more attention if you're a female boat builder. You stand out and people choose you rather than, like, the 10 other blokes that could have got the job. You stand out a bit, so it helps if anything.
So we've talked about your greatest boating achievement. Is there any, like, scariest or worst moment? Just to bring it down.
There's always scary bits, yeah. No, I don't know, with boats, you're either balancing on the edge over the river, like, trying to hold 5 different things at once and trying not to drop anything in the river, and, so there's always scary bits, and wood is notoriously unpredictable, so if you think you've got it in and you've got all your clamps done up and you only have to do one at slightly the wrong angle and the whole thing will ping out and fling you across the yard, and you can say goodbye to your front teeth, and but luckily I've still got all mine, so must be doing something right.
So have you been horribly injured at all?
I nearly broke my hand once, actually. I was building the transom for Peggotty, and it was 8 foot long, 2 inches thick Iroko, so really, really heavy. And I did it in 3 sections. I glued the bottom section in, was holding the second section up, got it wedged in between the planks, got my fingers underneath to try and give the bottom one a wiggle, which offset the top one, and it just went whoosh and squished my hand underneath. And to save face in the yard, I sort of crept round the back of the boat and had a bit of a cry. It's like, fuck.
That sounds horrifically painful. Yeah,
and then just sort of came out from round the boat like, no, everything's fine. Nothing happened. Don't know what you're talking about. No.
Well, your secret's out now.
My fingers move.
So, but you didn't break it?
No.
It was just really painful?
It just really, really hurt.
I'm sure they turned blue though, right?
Oh yes. Yeah, I had a bruise like all the way across my hand. About 2 inches thick, the same as the piece of wood. Yeah. For a good week and a half afterwards.
Yeah. I've definitely realised that, I mean, since moving on the boat, I just pretty much always have dirty hands.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
They're under the fingernails.
They're never clean. Yeah. Always scratched. I never have knuckle skin either. There's always a scuffed knuckle somewhere.
There's just so many things you can dirtify your hands on or or scrape yourself on.
I hoover up in here sometimes and then you take your shoes off and it's like, yay, sawdust. It's back. It was nice for about 10 minutes.
Oh, do you have any funny stories that have happened?
There's always funny moments in the yard, but they're just like, it's such a weird place because the yard looks like it's some sort of Victorian, like something out of the past, and you're just, and then you put us lot in it, and it's always hilarious, but yeah.
I'm sure for more hilarity you can check out the blog.
Yes, check out the blog.
Speaking of the blog, why don't you tell us a little bit more about it? where it can be found, things like that.
Yes, so if you type in abbeyboatbuilder.co.uk, that will take you straight over to the blog, and it's basically sort of a funny record of life in the yard, life living on board the boat, all the funny bits, all the bad bits, and all the good bits as well. Yeah, all mixed in together. But
yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out, and I think you've got, like, your writing style is incredibly similar to how you've spoken with me today. A couple of the stories that you've spoken about are elaborated on in the blog, so if you want to hear some more, I'll put a link in the description, or obviously you can just go to abbeyboatbuilder.co.uk.
yeah.
And how often do you post?
I try and post every fortnight, but life gets a bit hectic, and as you know, with boats there's always something that needs doing, so I get a bit waylaid sometimes, but yeah, every fortnight. But if not, there's loads of posts already on there to read up on, do some catching up. So.
Yeah, there is actually loads of posts on there. I haven't finished reading all of them, but I have read quite a few. And I really enjoyed them, so I would definitely recommend them. Cool, I think we could say goodbye. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to join us again on this Narrowboat adventure, you can click subscribe down below. If you would like to find me on Facebook, just search This Narrowboat Adventure. And I want to say a massive thank you to Kitty, who is a new patron. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Bye!